Wherapy. Therapy wherever, whenever.
Before I begin, I just want to mention quickly my Therapy World Tour. Every week I publish three countries, a post with three countries, wherein I offer one free therapy session to one person from those countries. Yeah? And that post is obviously published on Instagram and Facebook. And I also have a copy of it on my website. And I publish this every Monday. But for those of you listening to the podcast on Sunday, or those of you subscribing to my newsletter, you'll get the countries one day ahead of time. And the first one of those countries is Costa Rica. So if you're from Costa Rica, feel free to get in contact with me, and I might offer you one free therapy session. So without further ado, let me tell you about the carnage that is your 30s. I'm just joking. Our 30s is kind of the period of life where we run into a brick wall a little bit. Yeah, we're met with a harsh truth. We're made aware of the fact that we're not special or unique anymore. And we're also made aware of the fact that we are not the first generation of adults anymore. We're the second generation. Now there's a bunch of 20-year-olds who are more energetic than us and pursuing life and have all this bravado and are trying to take over the world, and we're just thinking, well, those people seem obnoxious, yeah. But we don't realize that those people were us 10 years ago, yeah. And we during our childhood, we've been led to believe that we're special, and this is the case for most people. I know it's not the case for all people. Some of you who are listening might have had a hell of a childhood, but most people have supportive parents who say, you can do anything you put your mind to, and then they back us up when we fail. They help us find an excuse, and then when we grow up in our teenage years and then in our 20s, they provide financial support and emotional support, and then in our 30s, all of a sudden, the expectation of supporting someone in the 30s, that doesn't exist. So they kind of you have the rug pulled out from under you, so and we're kind of stood there wondering, well, what happened to my dreams? Yeah, why didn't I pursue my dreams? Or why wasn't I successful in achieving my dreams? We're suddenly made aware of our insufficiencies, because that's all that is left. Yeah, and we feel like, well, we need to mask our insufficiencies because we're afraid of other people knowing them and other people questioning us. Well, why didn't you succeed, and why didn't you do that? Well, why didn't you do that thing that you said you would do? Yeah, and there might be a reason why we didn't do that thing we said we would do. Yeah, we might have been scared of failure. And in our 20s, we felt like we had all this time left, and we could just kick that bucket down the road, or kick that tin can down the road, yeah, and pick it up later. And now we're kind of at the period of life where the buck stops at you. Well, now it's time to pick up that cup and do something with it, yeah. And that's where we're kind of stuck at that period of time, or we kind of fall into that trap, and we get kind of scared, and then we have a relationship and we feel like that's constraining us. Well, I've got all this pressure, I have to achieve some sort of self-fulfillment, but I have a relationship that is holding me back. Yeah, and we grow kind of angry towards that person who we're in a relationship with, but we also feel quite comfortable with having that relationship there as an excuse. Yeah, well, yeah, okay, I can't really achieve my dreams because I'm gonna focus on this, and I'm held back by by my wife or husband, but I love them. Yeah. So we have that weird combination of animosity and kind of gratefulness towards our partner, yeah. And we also hold up our partner as somebody who is the perfect illusion, somebody who can kind of compensate for our insufficiencies, yeah. I'm doing great because look at what type of person my partner is, yeah. And somebody obviously feels like I'm capable of being loved, so yeah, don't ask any more questions, I'm fine. So we're kind of we're stuck in a crossroads. We feel like this is the kind of final stop at the station, final stop, yeah. Either I can get off and I can pursue my dreams, or I can continue down this road of conformity, but I can't do both at the same time. And I also have a sneaky feeling that maybe I'm not good enough to fulfill my dreams, and I don't want to have that responsibility. Yeah, I don't want to realize that. So this other road is quite comfortable, yeah. Or this other track, rather. I'm getting lost in all these analogies, yeah. But it is a period of harsh truth, yeah, where we've suddenly become a lot more aware of our insufficiencies, and we suddenly feel like the responsibility is with us and we have to make that choice. So this period of life is very scary and full of inner conflict and full of mixed feelings towards people, because they either help us or they hinder us, and they might help us and hinder us at the same time, and we get just very, very confused. So that was the first life problem, and as you know, it was quite complicated, so I'll just label it the harsh truth problem. The harsh truth. On to our next problem after this.